you doing? I can't tell if the live is on, so okay, I see that. God damn, this is a little bit different. Hi everybody. So we're gonna have a little chat about type of connections and why it is very important. I don't have a mic, so I hope the sound is that great. Why it is important to, I just realized I've got headsets. If I wear them, the sound might be better. Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Did I leave my headsets in the car or do I have them here? I don't know. Okay, it's telling me that my current frame, yeah, it is small and okay, so let me see if I can share this. Ooh. Oh my God, what am I doing? Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. I don't always go live, so I'm trying to figure this out as I go before we get into the conversation. Okay, so there we go, just shared. Hi yo, how you doing? I've got some notes, I have them on my phone, so I'll be looking at some notes just to make sure I stay on topic as much as possible. Feel free to comment, and I haven't gone live in a long time, so I'm trying to, like, the current frame is too low, please set the frame to 15 to 16, blah blah blah, or viewers may experience a low quality stream. I don't know how to do that. I seriously don't know how to set the screen to a bigger thing. I have no idea. Jesus Christ. I really don't know how to do that. Give me a like, please give me a like and do share the video, and I'm gonna go and start the conversation. Okay, so hold up. Okay, so let's go. I don't know how to make this look bigger. Oh my God, thank you for the, I think I'm the one who did that share, so I don't know. Is that me? Is it someone else? All right, so type of connections and why you should leave people behind. I know that there's always the anomaly, and there are always people who are a little bit different, and they manage to grow within, they manage to grow in spite having the same people around them all the time as if they always had. I understand that, but majority, I'm talking about majority and the way things go. And I have seen that there are connections that people make, and the way the thing depend on the type of tools they have in their life, So what am I talking about? So, not me getting comfortable here. So, what tools do you have? Tools, ways you think, the capacity you have, the perceptives, like different ways of thinking and seeing the world that you can connect with. Those can be your tools. How you manage, how you adjust with stuff. So that's the good stuff. So Most people make connections according to the tools they have. Now, here are some of the tools that there might be a low vibration kind of tool and a higher vibration kind of tool depending on where you're at mentally. And normally people seek out people who are telling a story similar to what's in their head. So if someone is saying something that doesn't match how someone thinks, and something that doesn't match or support their current mindset, thinking, or worldview, they'll dismiss it and they won't even like pay attention. And people do this unconsciously. It's just like automatic. That's why when you go to different workshops and different places and you're immersed around different people, you will see that you will start seeing more of what you just learned about, especially if you're really dived in. So it expands the way you see the world. It expands the tools and the capacity that you can comprehend things around you. So this being said, when we talk about low vibration kind of connections, there are some people that can only connect with others through guilt, for example, like how guilty they can make you feel about a certain thing and how guilty you actually feel about something, and then they can connect you on that frequency, that level. So this involves people who constantly remind you of your past mistakes. Such are using guilt to try and connect with you. Very psychological, by the way. And they keep you trapped in shame, making you feel unworthy of growth. The influence condition you to over-explain or apologize for evolving. And I personally have also experienced this. Like, there are people who, I call it kindergarten kind of thinking and consciousness, where you always have to claim, teacher, can I go to the toilet? Oh, teacher, can I do this? Oh, teacher, like you have to ask a grown-up. Now, they're grown-up and they keep on explaining and asking for permission, and when you're around such people, they can only connect with you or feel comfortable if you ask them permission when you want to do something. So if you're self-led and you are evolved in that kind of way, you won't mesh. And that's how some people make friends, acquaintances, according to that. So if you're looking to grow in your mindset and evolve just your capacity to comprehend, have more tools, you have to expand the way you can connect with people. Usually this keeps you stuck, and if you're on a growth mindset, oh my God, my eye just felt itchy. Is it a lash? When you're on a growth trajectory and you're trying to move out, oh my God, it feels like I've got a lash in my eye. Hold on. Okay. So if you're on a life trajectory where you're trying to evolve, like you're really not content with where you are, or even if you're grateful for where you are, but you're trying to evolve into a higher conscious being, a more evolved, a more confident person, a person that does more with themselves, a person that believes in their ability to achieve stuff and expand beyond what is normal to other people. Having connections that, especially if you've had this from the time you were young and it's the norm and it's what everybody puts on a pedestal, guilting you and using your past failures, your past experiences, your identity that you're trying to grow out from, and that's the only anchor they have, you will self-sabotage because they will tell you, no, this is not who you are when you're trying to evolve. So that connection is very, very tricky, very, very tricky. It's a low vibration kind of connection. The other one is blame-based connections. Let me just say, you cannot, blame doesn't help you grow, and blame doesn't solve your problems or issues, but it makes you feel better about yourself, and it makes you feel like you're better than other people because you just push it because it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's like, as long as you're using blame, you disable or you dismantle yourself from having accountability and responsibility, which can be very empowering. It can be heavy, but very empowering. So that being said, I'll stick to the notes here. So the connections that people use for blame, it's like, even if Be mindful when someone is looking for a job or trying to get into a relationship and they're always blaming others. It means they lack accountability and responsibility with whatever they do. So it keeps on saying the current frame is too low, but I have no idea how to set it. I have no idea how to set it, so I'll keep on just with this workshop, free workshop. Let's go. So, individuals who refuse to take accountability and project their issues onto you or others are very high risk to be around. Either be it as friends, as partners, someone coming to you, every problem they might experience, they're trying to blame the other person. They never take accountability, they never take responsibility. This is a red flag, people. It is a red flag. You may feel responsible for their emotions and decisions. So such people who use blame-based connections, you always have to be the fall guy or always take blame. That's the only way that connection can stay. Otherwise, if you bring accountability and responsibility, most relationships and connections will end. Most of them will end because most people lack accountability. So they prevent you from focusing inward and constantly externalizing problems. So this is very huge. This is very huge. People who prevent you from focusing inwards and always constantly externalizing problems is like, I will give you an example. So let's say you have this friend. I'll give you in the context of a friend. I'll use business and I'll use a relationship or relationship. It could be intimate. It just could be family, whatever. So we'll start with a friend. Let's say you have this, or we'll start with a business or workplace. Let's say you have this employee who always doesn't deliver because they don't do what they need to do. They never get their work done, and they never get ish done. Now, they never get ish done, and whenever a supervisor or their work falls short, they'll always look at other things to point, and they'll never look inward, saying, what about me needs to change, or the way I'm doing it, do I need to change so that the results or the thing gets done? They never think like that, so they'll always look for external. It could be him, her, electricity, the table, it could be the wind, God no, it could be, I have no freaking, like, coffee. It could be coffee spilled or the coffee machine didn't work and I couldn't get, they always have an excuse, never taking accountability. So when you have such a person, as a team, people will fall out, and if you don't have someone who can push accountability on them and holding them to a certain standard, you'll find that high achievers will either drop off or they'll be demotivated because the culture is keeping someone who's not accountable and living up to per on what they can do. Okay, so that was an example using like a business. Now let's use an example. Let's say if this is a friend. Let's say you have a friend who never does what they say they do, especially if you plan things together, or they keep on being in sticky situations every time. There's always an issue with them, and it's never them. It's never them. So like, for example, I'll give you an example. I'm a mom. I've got a child. She's sleeping right now, and I'm supposed to be here with my child. But let's say you have a friend who's always out drinking and whatever, and they're always in issues. And if something happens, they have this belief, because maybe let's say you grew up together from the time you were young, friends should always bail each other out and stuff, but you have a child at home. Maybe you're married, you're with your family. You have a rule that you should be home by such and such a time, or you should have other plans of who can cover you, who can pick you, so when things don't happen, you don't start calling different people. But people who don't take those steps and systems, and they always want to blame other people will keep you in a loop of trying to fish them out of things they don't intend on looking at within themselves or changing. That is with friendship. The other thing is with relationship. So this is something I learned when I lived in the US. This is something I learned whilst I was there. I learned that one of the red flags in relationships, business and everything else, someone who's always blaming or someone blaming another person for whatever result they have in their life. Whatever is happening, they're blaming another person. Oh, my ex, my whatever, my... As long as they're blaming, it means they lack accountability. And that is a red flag. When they lack accountability, even if you take them on, they same patterns will happen with you because that's who they are. So you have to ask yourself to say, let's see, we want A, B, C, D. This is a direction. Now, if this person doesn't take accountability, I always have to be the fall guy. So most people will just not hire a person, not date a person because they're looking for someone with shared values and accountability. My throat feels dry. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me just... Is there a way to pause this? I'll be right back. I'm parched. I need some water. I have tea, but... Oh, I see. Actually, I don't see. I thought I saw where... Okay, I thought I saw where I could change the screen size, but I don't see it. Okay, let me just take a 3 minutes break. I'll be right back. This is gonna be fun. So this is a free training. Take notes. Try to see where you're at. So first we're going to look at the problems, types of connections that are there, the negative one, and then we're going to look at the positive ones, and then we're going to see how you can start creating better connections or relationships. You can use this in any aspect of your life. Okay, so just give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Hold up. 2 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. I got some water. Oops. Oh my God. What? This is ridiculous. Hold on. Ooh, laptop survived. God damn. Thank God. Okay, so we just talked about different types of low vibration connections that block inner evolution, inner growth. And we talked about the guilt gate connection, the blame based connection. Now we're going to talk about the gossip centered connection. This one is so draining. And here is the thing, I am not holier than thou, so I am capable of all this. And because I am very aware of the type of direction I want, the type of frequency or vibration I want to hold within myself, I am very selective with what I let in myself indulge, because whatever you do more of, neural pathways form in your mind and in your brain, and that starts becoming your default mode. So I focus on the direction I want to go, and it doesn't mean that, oh, I would never do that. And when I do such, I actually feel very drained. When I try to connect or have these conversations which are in the category of low vibration. So the other one is gossip centered. There are people who can only bond through someone's downfall. Through someone's downfall, flaws of others, which creates false intimacy. Man, I know many people who operate in this, very close people. And story time. There are people who believe that they should make people reconcile, get together, and people should always get along as long as they used to know each other and whatever. But I'm like, no, as long as you're growing, that's almost impossible, because growth and elevation requires separation. So if you have someone who you've known for a long time and you can only bond through someone's downfall, flaws, which can only, that's the only way, that's the only tool that they have to create intimacy. I don't want that kind of intimacy. I don't want that. And I'm looking at people as software, so I'm not saying brother, sister, dad, mom, uncle, no, friend. Do you have the software? Okay, I love you from a distance. I don't want to deal with that, because there is a higher version of me that can connect on more positive frequencies. All right, so let's go. So such people, oh my God, I cannot stand it. They drain your aura, activate comparison, and breed judgment. And if this is who you are and you are so unaware, even if someone came and told you, you wouldn't see it. So the first point of changing is awareness, being aware. You know, look at the friendships you have, look at the things you talk about, the people who you connect with a lot. What are things you talk about? And it's okay if this is your jam, good for you, kudos. There'll always be negative, there'll always be positive, there'll always be low vibration and high vibration. It was there before I was born, it's going to be there after I'm gone. So where people are, that's a you thing. But this is for a growth mindset kind of person, or people trying to create a culture where people can evolve and they can bring out their best foot forward. That's what we're going for. So if someone is gossip centered, oh my God, they pull you away from self-mastery and the truth. They pull you, people who are gossip centered, they pull you away from self-mastery and truth. And let me tell you what, this is such a low vibration, and when you're vibrating high, can understand, have the awareness, and you're dealing with such people. If you say anything from the positive side, they'll counter it, and the only tool they have of feeling or being smart is trying to tear down another person's point of view or tower. It's the only way. They just can't start something on their own, you know, building something on their own, in their own mindset, like reading and just growing. It's always attacking those who seem high. So high up in awareness, intellect, whatever it may be. So such are very tricky. As long as you have people who are gossip-centered, that connection, you can never have self-mastery and the truth. Fluid connections. Oh my God, this is like Zambia everywhere. But it's not just Zambia, worldwide. But Zambia, it is so much to find people who are not fear based, who are inspiration based, is so hard. So let me just a little bit of a story time. This is one thing I've noticed, be it in dating, business, friendships, relationships, whatever it may be. I have seen that most people use fear to try and convince another person. So I do a lot of inner work. Everything I do is mostly cultivated by inspiration. So when someone is using fear, I'm like, that's it. It doesn't even register. Like it doesn't even register. I can't even like stay with it, you know. So I have noticed people here, especially in Zambia, are very fear-based. It could be the news, it could be this, that, everything. And by the way, someone's connection level, there is no correlation between having money and the type of connection levels they have. Someone can be financially set, someone can be very financially stable, but they can be running from a world of fear, not inspiration. Maybe it made them run, but there is no inspiration. And life is in the context. A person who's fear-based and a person who's inspiration and vision-based are worlds apart, but they might be doing the same thing. So this is very important to know. People who are fear-fueled connected, encourage playing small, avoiding risks, and clinging to the familiar. So such people will not agree when you talk about outgrowing people, outgrowing some type of consciousness, outgrowing the type of connections that you make. They cannot like just tap into that. They cannot tap into that. They'll fight you and they'll tell you about all the dangers of something, and they think they're very smart. But they will never talk about all the possibilities, or the greatness, or the wins that can come from it. Instead of saying or looking at the upside of something, they're always looking at the downside of something. So this is very tricky to be around. They create anxiety around change and growth. So change and growth can cripple a person psychologically and physically and physiology. They can crash down. It's something you should not force on a person. They need to do it voluntarily. That's when it's best. You can have the same thing that helped one person like take down another person because consciously, mentally, they're not ready. So even if someone is not strong enough yet, they're not that ready, but they put themselves through the process, they're watching, doing the work, they're going to turn out a lot better. But when people are fear-based, they will stop anyone trying to try something new. They create anxiety around change and growth. They discourage stepping into your higher self. It's the same thing I just explained. Jealousy-driven connections. They appear this, man, I have experienced this. Man, like, there are people who are so jealous and they appear, it's very, very, very challenging to spot them. Especially if you're not aware that there is such type of people, but secretly resent your growth. These are people who, I have this as well, and I see them. I have this, where when you start talking about anything that is positive, growth mindset, or anything that is tangible, they will criticize and try to tear down whatever point you bring up. There are people like that. So like, for example, if I'm doing lives like this, if I'm going to do coaching course, if I'm going to have a free masterclass, or that I'm going to share to the world as a gift from me to the world, I can't have such a person around me, because they will be there discrediting what I'm saying, trying to argue, because that's the only tool they have. So that is very tricky to be around. Okay, so let's see. So they can make you second guess your dreams and delay your process. This is when you try so many things. Even if you're going the right way, they'll make you second guess yourself. And trust me, if it's supposed to take you 6 months, 3 months, it might take you 10 years. And that 10 years, in those 10 years, you will have to ditch them for you to get your destination, because every time you take 2 steps forward, they will do something, sabotage, block, or come in your mind where you will take 20 steps back. So just getting the results you want in life. And these are people you can call friends, sometimes it could be siblings, sometimes it could be parents, whatever they may be. Whatever they may be. I have come to find and respect that it's very important to have your own space, own thing where you can grow. You're going to have challenges, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, but you have yourself to overcome, and not having people who make you second guess yourself, or who point at every flaw the first step you take. They're trying to judge you from an expert view, but you just took your baby step. No one got time for that. Like, elevation requires separation. And there are people who, I've noticed this, especially with small town mindsets. I've noticed this so much, especially recently, where there are some people, they may even be financially stable, but the only way they know how to interact with another one is chipping away from their self-esteem, chipping away from who that person thinks. Like, it's they can only throw you some negative words, negative perspectives, or how would I say this? Things to try to chip up your cheap. The word is gone. Chip from you. Am I saying correctly? You know what I'm saying anyway. My people get me. Please leave a comment. If anything resonates with you, please go ahead and share, like, leave a comment. Let me know on something you resonated with. This is a free masterclass. And these are things that you will not learn, not even in university. You will know about science, you might know about geography, you might know a little bit about psychology from judging others, but not inner work that helps you evolve, usually. So, having the tools is very important. Having the tools and the understanding is very important, and that's where I come in. Enjoy this free masterclass, and please do feel free, share, comment, share, like, do all the good stuff. Okay. High vibration connections that fuel your inner evolution. Now, this is a vision aligned connections. So there are people who connect. This is how you see. I also made a TikTok about this earlier, before I removed my makeup and all that stuff. But now I've showered, I've removed all my makeup. It's about 9:42 p.m. So whatever. But anyway, I made this TikTok, and I was talking about how to know the relationships, connections, relationships. Relationship, it's a ship. Where is it going to? Is it going? Is it stuck? Does it have an anchor down? Is it going nowhere? How you know if you have a relationship, connection? It could be in a company, it could be friendship, it could be marriage, whatever it may be. That is either getting comfortable or enduring, or it has a growth mindset and you're evolving, adjusting to different levels that you've never been into, which are helping you expand, or you're just making sense of things that don't come. You're succumbing to your circumstances. If you always get this, if you're always talking about the past problems, all your connections about yesterday, problems yesterday, and there is no evolution of your identities, of the process of where you're going. This could even be in a business or in a workplace. There is no vision, there is no talking about the goals and finding people you're aligned with, and everyone you have is from the past, and everything and every topic is about the good old days, the past, but nothing pulling you from today to tomorrow. Nothing pulling you. Everything is yesterday, you remember this, all the problems are yesterday based. That, my friend, means you're stuck. So it's very important that you have a vision that is aligned in connections. Somewhere pulling you from today into the future. Because if you don't have that, today is today, meaning that tomorrow will be exactly like today. After 5 years, will be exactly like today. After 10 years, will be exactly like today. Let me just tell you this. Story time, short story. I digress a little bit. So, I lived in Kitui, moved in Chingola, and from Chingola, I moved to the US. I have moved so much and so much has happened. Externally, you can say, yeah, she gained weight, she used to be tiny, blah, 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 to each their own. But internally, there's been so many realizations, so many evolutions, so many paradigm shifts, mindset growth. Like, I'm a ninja in my head. I might not look like one externally, but I'm a ninja in my head. And one thing I noticed is that people, most people, if not 99%, are in the same spot, same thoughts, same conversation. They can only anchor themselves or have conversations with the me that they knew 20 years ago. God damn it. It's like you've built a house and someone still is just trying to find the foundation. You've put floor tiles, hardwoods, whatever mumbo jumbo you've put there. You've built a house, and people are still talking about the foundation. God damn it. Not even the foundation, because who I was back then wasn't my foundation. That was, when you dig a hole on the ground before you put the cement, the foundation, that's who they're talking about. That's who they're talking about. God damn it, I'm not that person. Every cell in your body changes. Like, this part is activated. My blongot is activated, god damn it. And they're talking about that. And if you don't connect, oh, she's changed. Like, yeah, god damn it. If babies used to wear diapers and now they don't wear diapers anymore, why are you still thinking the same? You have to grow and evolve. It shouldn't only be kindergarten and primary school and secondary school that are putting stuff in your head. You have to read, you have to grow, you have to learn life lessons, you have to evolve around them. You don't have to succumb to your situations. Anyway, I digress. So let's get back to the point. Goal-oriented connections, almost the same as vision. So vision is a big picture that you may have, and goals are like goals are milestones that get you closer to the big vision that you have. Take notes. So focus on the progress and growth and core elevation, where you're trying to uplift each other. Uplifting each other. Why can't people just uplift each other? Why? Provide accountability without judgment. Celebrate wins and see failure as a tool for refinement. That's what I'm talking about. Elevation and seeing failure as tool for refinement. That's the only way I see the so-called failure. And failure and winning are entangled. They're one. You can't have one without the other. And people are scared to fail, meaning they're scared to win. Let's go. Authenticity-based connection, encouraging emotional honesty and spiritual alignment. This will go over many people's head. So I'm very spiritually inclined. I'm not so religiously inclined. And part of this is being honest, being very honest with yourself, being honest with your experiences, being able to live in your truth. It's not a religious post, spiritual post, so we'll keep on going. Hold on. Okay, I'm looking at my notes now. I need to stay on track because I digress a lot. Okay, hold up. Allow space for vulnerability, mistakes, and evolution. These are basic fundamentals to growth and evolution. You have to allow people to fail and make their mistakes. You have to. You gotta. Like, you have to allow people, even yourself, give yourself permission to fail. It's part of the process. Making mistakes is part of the process. So most people don't get this, but to each their own. Let's see. Reflect back on your truth instead of egoic projection. So, you know, you've got the ego, and sometimes ego is seeing things through, oh no, but you're always trying to be right, always trying to be, you know, like, yeah, like trying to fill yourself up instead of actually learning and evolving. So it's very important that you can be truthful for yourself and be able to put the ego aside. Okay, empowering mirrors. Help you see your potential when you forget. Hold on. Yeah. They don't compete, they amplify. Conversation leave you energized and clear up. So empowering mirrors are like people who I've had in Zambia. I've only had this in person with one person. Her name is Chansa. I didn't drag her to do this. We had many conversations back and forth even before I came to Zambia. And she calls me at times when she's got, and it's like we hold, well, I hold space for her where she can just speak her realizations that are coming from within. And maybe I'll add on 2 other points and I'll see things. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because everyone sees things differently and everyone gets their truth from different perspectives. And I can see that spiritually she's actually evolving. When we have conversations, they're very juicy and yummy. Very juicy and yummy. So shout out to Chansa Katoto for that. I appreciate you, girl. I appreciate you. So the other one is you can find people who are your mirrors, who can empower you to see your potential when you forget it. So you have the power within you, but you need people who tap into it. So like this gives me an example of, on the flip side, the other side, I had this person who was supposed to be a person who should be the person you trust. Now, that person, every time they try to tell me something, it is something to ding or chip away from me every single time. Unconsciously, I would just watch them, you know, and I would watch them, see their vibration, their frequency, where they're coming from, and I'm like, ooh, those are the only tools you have. Poor you. And then it made them feel better about themselves, but I'm like, I do that a lot, even in person. You would never know. Just so you know. I see people as softwares and frequencies. So when someone is speaking to me, I'm experiencing them, they're just a frequency. I don't look at sister, brother, cousin, dad, mom, whatever. So if someone is vibrating from a lower frequency, that's what I see them as. And I make time according to that with people. So if they're taking me to a lower vibration because I'm trying to hold a certain frequency, a certain knowing, where I should cultivate, I should amplify, I should, you know, bring positivity, inspire, allow people to see what could be, and if they're growing towards something, there is an example of that. So when someone is operating from a lower frequency, I don't dwell in it so much, because you cannot pull someone up but they can pull you down. That is very important to know. Okay, let's look at this again. Okay, so apart from that, the other very important like connection is offer constructive insights for growth without attacking your worth. Offer constructive insights for your growth without attacking your worth. Habibti. And this is a tool that you can use in businesses, you can use in relationships as well. Holding this frame is a masculine frame. So for me as a lady, when it comes to a relationship, and I'm not looking to emasculate or be the man of a relationship, I would look to a person who's evolving, growing, and I can just hold the pose of following their leadership. And if they don't have the tools I have, I still have to just be in my own. Because I know usually the masculine is not looking for a woman to teach them stuff. A woman they're dating, or wife, whatever. So, understanding, I almost lost the point because all my points are pointing. Get it? Get it? They're points. So, there is this person and this person. And there is an issue in the middle. You don't have an issue with this person, and they don't have an issue with this person. They have an issue with, they have a challenge with the issue. So you're not hating or blaming the other one, and they're not blaming you. They're like, we have this issue. We are a team. We are a team. How can we resolve this? Because we have this issue. Mass sports team. See what I'm talking about? Free masterclass. This is our communication tool as well. So, constructive insight could be, I see that this issue is blah, 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 blah. How can we resolve it together? This is what I'm thinking. Listen to the other person. Even if you think it's coming from the other person, it's not them, but there is an issue because it takes two to tango. Work together into resolving it. So, one thing I found, even the way I'm thinking, the way I'm talking, I've had this for many years. But around people, I am not like this because people usually want to connect to feel good, and not every brain is looking to grow, and people who are looking to grow, maybe they're not at that stage, and that's not the lesson they're looking for. So it takes a lot of detaching. It takes a lot of detaching for me to get back on my frequency. That being said, elevation requires separation. Give an insight on the issue. Let the other person help you solve the problem. Now you're working as a team. You're not fighting each other as husband and wife, as girlfriend, as boyfriend, as manager, whatever. We have this issue. How can we resolve it? It requires accountability and responsibility, working together in collaboration to resolve that. And if you have someone, you have connections like that, man, you're Gucci. That being said, respect boundaries and emotional maturity. This is very important. Respect other people's boundary and have emotional maturity about your approach and how you interact with others. Focus on elevation, not control. Focus on elevation, not control. What does this mean? Elevation is where you help others get up, grow, push, not trying to control. Not trying to make them do what you want them to do, but help them, give them a boost. They're doing their own, fighting their own claim, and you're giving a boost. Because when you have control, this is a psychology, I'm going to give this insight a little bit. When you have control over the person, you're taking away their five senses, their thinking, their ability to expand, and now they're just following instructions. So their growth yields. The same happens with children and just people overall. Do not control so much, because if you control other people, they can only produce the result as you're telling them, and they won't even be as like you because they don't think like you. It's not their vision, it's not their thinking. They second guess themselves, so they are less than. But when you're trying to push up, you're pushing up and you're letting the person go through their own way. They might fall, they might stumble, they might get it wrong. That is their evolution, they're learning, they're getting better. Everyone is different. So this is very, very important. So you have to be so secure in yourself that regardless of what the other person is doing, whether they fall, whether something happens or not, it has nothing to do with you. Give them a push, stand back. I know this is good, right? So we've been going 50 minutes. There are neutral mixed connections, and they can shift either way. The more conscious or vision or goal-oriented you are, you're going to have connections that can be neutral or mixed. Let's look at transactional connections. Let me see the examples they gave, and I'll see if it's on the same idea as what I want to touch on, because I can go on and on and on forever. But based on mutual benefit, but not always having depth. This depends with the two people connecting or the people connecting. The deeper the people are in their understanding and there is a mutual benefit, there can be depth. So that is debatable, depends with who's interacting with this exchange, which energy exchange, information exchange this is. The other one is you can grow into meaningful bonds and remain surface level. You can grow into meaningful bonds or remain surface level. Most connections are surface level. Most connections don't go deeper, they do not. And the deeper you go, and if you still hang around, now this is important, everything is important, but if you're going deeper and you're creating depth within yourself and you don't separate, but you're trying to elevate, you will have to become a liar or wear many masks to maintain the surface level connections that you've always had. You have to act to be ignorant. You have to act to be ignorant. You have to play dumb. That's the only way you can maintain the connections. So you cannot be in your higher self. You cannot be in your involved self around the people who you're with. It could be family, friends. And at one point, you will stop your growth and you will come back, because they will say this is not who you are, because who you are is the surface level that they're operating from. And that's why you find most people look for people who are like them. And this is something I was thinking of talking about, so now I can match the two here. So most people, everybody, not most people, every human being has a story within their head, and they're just looking for people who match that story. Whether it's guilt, whether it's about hating another person, and then when they hear that, that's when they're like, it matches the story that's in their head, that's in their loop. So they'll connect with that. Some people are ambitious, looking to grow, looking to defy all odds. If they see someone who's on that path, it matches their inner story, and that's what they'll gravitate to. So we're all gravitating towards things that we're unconscious about. And if you're conscious and actually create a vision from inspiration from others, it just doesn't come from you, and you do the inner work, you do the nervous system reboot, you do the visioning, you do all that, you do the steps that you need to do, physical things outside you need to do, it could be work, it could be taking out letters, it could be approaching different, whatever, in that direction. That is what you will see and experience. That is very important. So transactional connections, you have a goal. Everybody you get in touch with has something that is aligned with that goal. And people who are on a surface level, they're not growing, they're not doing anything, they'll say, people are so transactional. Why can't they just like me for me? God damn it. Liking you for you, you're a person who's connecting on guilt. You connect on shame. And that's enough for you. Anyway, let's go. So, awareness is key to maintaining energetic balance. This is very important. So, like for example, I'm very aware, and awareness makes you see things on a deeper level than other people can even ever comprehend. And when you can see people for who they are, not their masks, it makes them very uncomfortable. Even Yesu alimulopola. Yesu was beaten, whipped. Who am I? Okay? So even when I see something, I almost have to dumb myself to be in certain groups and environments. Not almost, I usually do. I don't mind it. Because everybody has a spark of genius, everybody has a lesson to teach you, everybody is special in their own way. So once in a while it's good. That's why I don't like groups and whatever a lot, because it's like most things are surface level. I don't need other people to do surface levels. I can do that all by myself. Alright, let's go. And if it's surface level, it serves a point in how I'm walking socially. So I don't need that. Anyway, family and familiarity ties. History may bind you, but dynamics can be draining and empowering depending on awareness. That's what I talked about. Now I'm looking at the points. I've already explained this. Requires inner work to navigate with the boundaries and love. So I haven't been sharing this work that I am online. And when I do a workshop, I will touch bits and pieces on this depending on the type of group I have, their awareness level, their whatever. And I'll actually give the inner work. We'll do breath work, we'll do affirmations, visualization, helping people create vision boards, visualization. Not all in one workshop, obviously. There are different parts and people can start putting things together, because you can't do this in one week. It takes time to build neural pathways and expand other people, because there are a lot of paradigm shifts which can be traumatic for other people. Resetting the nervous system so that you calibrate to a different frequency. I do all this in my inner works, and I will be sharing the works online. I will be selling the actual inner work online. This way it's not just closed up to 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 people who are in front of me. It can be like put worldwide there. So I will be sharing that. So these are just fundamentals I'm saying that can be used in any aspect of life. Just knowing is important, because trust me, there was a point in my life where I was almost going insane because things didn't make sense. I didn't know what I didn't know. But the more I understand, I know that people who go through stuff and they are not surrounded by anyone who can explain or give them the tools or help them move from point A to point B. So that's where I come in, mindset shift, and just understanding yourself inwards. The more and the deeper you understand yourself, the more you'll be able to perceive outwards, the more you'll be able to understand there. You can only see people and understand people according to the depth you have within you. So the more shallow you are, the shallower you see everything around you. We can walk around with masks out there, but there should be something deeper within you. And the more you know, the less you get triggered. The more you know, the less you'll be, the more understanding you are of where you are and seeing life as it is. And then you can start creating things according to how you want to create your own world. But knowing and understanding is important. Okay, let's see. So we've had this masterclass has been going on for almost an hour now. I have a chart showing vibrations from the lowest frequency, that is dense, that is heavy, that is like death and Asha, to the high vibrations. I'm going to see if I can screen share it. Hold up, I will give it a go. If I don't, on the first comments, if I'm able to do it, I can put maybe, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I'll see, we'll see. Let's see if I can show you a chart. So again, let's just go through what we spoke about. We talked about the connections type from low vibration. So connection type, guilt-based connection, individuals who constantly remain in the past mistakes or the past. Blame-oriented, those who focus on refusing to take accountability, projects to their issues. The impact on the okay, let me just track back a little bit, because I am going to go and share what a vibration does, the characteristics that that vibration have, because now I'm just summarizing what we just talked about, and the impact it has on your inner evolution, on your growth, on your mindset shift, the paradigm shift, your ability to grow as a human being. So the guilt-based connection, individuals who constantly remind you of your past mistakes. They keep you trapped in shame, making you feel unworthy of growth. The blame-oriented are those who refuse to take accountability and responsibility for their issues and project them onto you. Man, I even experienced this less than 24 hours ago. It happens. They prevent you from focusing inwards and constantly externalizing problems. And imagine I am there and I might hold space and I'll be seeing that and I understand it fully. But there are people who are looking to vomit on you, they're not looking to evolve or grow. So even if you see their blind spot, you cannot show them. People can only see what they're looking for or what they're willing to look at. You can't force people to see what they're not willing to see. They prevent you from focusing inwards by constantly externalizing problem. Gossip-centered relationships that bond over the downfall and flaws of others. When I just read this, I can even see many faces that I actually know. They drain your energy, activate comparison, and breed judgment. Fear-fueled connections encourage playing small, avoiding risks, and clinging onto the familiar. They create anxiety around growth and change. So if a person is surrounded by fear-fueled people, there is going to be a lot of anxiety in that dynamic. Jealousy-driven connections appear supportive but secretly resent your growth. They make you second guess your dreams and delay your progress. Such people are those that I spoke about earlier, that if you speak about anything, they want to poke holes and dent and devalue whatever you're putting out there. High vibration connections, vision aligned, they share or respect long-term goals and values. This is something that even when you're having a relationship, employing people, like even if you're in a group, sports group, social group, share your values and speak about them, like recite them so people can be aligned, man. Anyway, let me get back to that. They provide clarity and inspire bold movement towards your dream. That's what we want. Goal-oriented focus on progress, growth, and co-elevation. They offer accountability without judgment. Authenticity, encourage emotional honesty, spiritual alignment, and they allow space for vulnerability, mistakes, and evolution. Tongue twister. Empowering mirrors help you see your potential when you forget it. The conversations leave you energized, clear, and inspired. Empowering mirrors, these are like the type of people I look up to, who there is something inside me, a seed that I desire, and maybe I'm in an environment or space where nobody cultivates that, or it's something that is looked down upon and it's not in the right soil, and I look towards that for them to mirror what's within me. Conversations, okay, I already say that. Feedback connections offer you constructive insights for your growth without attacking your worth. Focus on elevation, not control. I spoke about that. Okay. So, understanding the vibrational frequencies of your connection can aid in personal growth by fostering high vibration relationships and setting boundaries with low vibration ones. You support your inner evolution. That being said, wherever I go, I see people as energy, frequencies. So if someone is vibrating low, usually they're very comfortable there. They're thinking their mindset is just to protect that. They can even die to protect that low vibration. Doesn't matter who they are to me. I hold a frequency, so I'll spend less time with such. And then creating quality connection based on vision and goals requires clarity. This is something that I see most companies don't have, and relationships, by the way, they don't have this. Especially if you see a man, because men are the leaders and the heads. If they don't have these, I'm going to explain them, I'm going to say the things. They're grooming you and brainwashing you to make you confused and be in the emotions. So a man is a provider, is either providing confusion or clarity, direction, or you're asking questions that if you just find yourself asking questions, just know he's provided confusion for you. Companies have this, sports centers, groups have this as well. And if you're looking to really elevate and have your organizations, your teams, whatever, like me speak to it, but then I would have to like create something that matches your vision and direction. It's very important we give this. So creating quality connections based on vision and goals requires clarity, intention, and energetic alignment. Energetic alignment. This is very important. You can't have someone who's sleeping all day, they can barely walk, they can't even stand, and you are creating a high energy, fast pace or high energy area where you motivate, you encourage, you cultivate, and you have someone who's just saying, it's like, are you dead? Inertia, sleepy? No, you can't have that. So that is very important. There are exercises for that as well. It's very important. And I'm going to leave you with this. I've said a lot, and this is a very powerful masterclass. So you have to clarify your own vision and goals, and it's very important you do. Whether you're a man in a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's a club, sports club, so have that clarified so that you don't breed confusion. But there are people who their value is confusion, so they don't want to clarify, and good for them, whatever. There's always confusion and there's clarity, but I'm for those who are looking for clarity and alignment. You have to be specific, you have to know what you're working towards, that's very important. Write down, define your purpose, values, and short and long-term aspirations. Very, very important that you do that. Personally, aspirations, but if it's a company, I would say your targets and goals, your goals and targets, the vision, what's the big vision? It's very important you have that. Embody it, like walk it, be it. You have to. When you walk in alignment with your goals, you naturally attract similar energies. So here's another thing. If you're very high vibration, you are going to repel negative vibrations and energy. If you're negative vibration, you're going to draw more negative and you're going to repel high energy. But sometimes you have negative, and I've seen and I've experienced this a lot. I see that you will have this low energy and you have this high energy, and the low energy will like the high energy, want to be around the high energy, but when they're here, they want to dominate this area, and they're so stubborn, and they're stuck in their ways, and they're not looking to drop things that are keeping them down, so that they can start getting more of this, learning and listening and shutting up. You'll find they talk more, they're polarizing, and there is this fact and this truth: you can never lift someone up who doesn't want to be lifted up. But whether you want to be put down or not, people down can pull you down. So actually being around low vibration, people with that clarity will dismantle you. So you'll find that high achievers and other people like to cling with people who have the same values with them, same energies. Very, very, very important. And if someone has got low energy and they're coming around, they have to be willing to do the things that their high energy give them, so that they can start changing their frequency. I've seen, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I've got a certain feel in the house, in my space. It is the way it is. It feels the way it is because of who I am and what I do. Silly details that I do. Another person will come and they'll start trying to change things. They're running away from, or maybe in that space they don't have that energy, or they don't have that frequency, or there's something that draws them here. But when they'll do what they did there, and they'll start turning the space they're in into the place that they came from. There are people like that. Very polarizing, very entitled, but always pulling things down. So you have to be very careful. You have to have boundaries. You have to have protocol and systems. I'm taking that advice for myself as well. 2, align your energy before seeking connection. Oh my God, I have had even people approach me. If your energy is low, you're always so, every time you talk, it's problems, fear, every time. And you're trying to connect with people who are positive, they don't want to connect to a negative, to a plug that's opposite of what they don't want. You have to recalibrate yourself. This is like, if you're going to workshops on different places, start working on yourself, so when you show up in those spaces, you're someone who people want to talk to and connect with. Very important. Heal people-pleasing tendencies. Vision-based connections respect mutual growth, not self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is something that is idolized and actually looked up to. For lack of better words, I'm going to be very direct right now and brutal. Poverty mindsets. The more you're self-sacrificial, the more they like you, because survival is based on self-sacrificial, and then you're waiting for others. That's how they survive. When you go to high performance areas, self-sacrificial is looked down on, because you become a liability for people who've got their own restaurant. You have to be able to stand on your own, think on your own. No group thinking, group doing. Like, you want to do something for you, for your body. Work out. Oh, I just went. Work out. Do what you gotta do. But you're not going there as a liability. You have to hold your own. Okay, this masterclass has been long, and it's an activation as well. Very, very powerful. You can listen to this as a business owner, as a person in a relationship, especially if you're the masculine, trying to recover, like, put yourself in a powerful position. And for ladies, even if you're in a feminine, because I've been talking a lot about femininity, you need to cultivate your inner core masculine. It's an inward thing, not external. Have these by your side. So even when you're around other people, or you're looking for a masculine guy or whatever, you are steady within. So when something is negative or doesn't match, you're able to pick up on it. But if you don't have that core within yourself, and I'm just feminine, just soft, it won't work. So you really have to take these to heart as well. It's very important. Very, very important. Okay. So, this masterclass I think we'll end in 15 minutes. Let's see if I can push in everything else. But please do take notes. If something aligns, something ring the bells, please share, like. I know people like confusion, but for those with a growth mindset, go ahead and do that. This is a free masterclass I've shared. Um, I will be sharing I'll be creating a link for the inner work so you can do it in your own space, your own time. But I'm sharing first the mindset, the understanding, and the worldview that I'm coming from. Okay. So clarify your own vision and goals. This could be as a business, as a husband, as a woman, as a company. Know what you're working towards personally, professionally, and spiritually. This is very important. And this is time you can start researching. Open yourself up. There is inner work to guide you through such. Write down, define your purpose, values, and short and long-term aspirations. I think I already said this. When you walk in alignment with your goals, you naturally attract similar energies. I already explained this. Actually, I did. I went a few steps back, no wonder. Be intentional about where you connect. And this is where I spoke about connections that can be not conversational, what's the word? The word is gone. I think I'm also just tired. It's 10:25. Okay. I need some sleep. I didn't sleep well last night. So be intentional about where you connect. Join aligned spaces, masterminds, workshops, online forums, or events tailored to your goals. Very important. Use aligned platforms like LinkedIn, professional visions, spiritual circles for soul aligned growth, etc., etc. Collaborate in meaningful ways. Build together rather than just talk about it. Communicate with purpose. Lead with values instead of small talk. Man, small talk is so tiring and overrated. Discuss purpose, vision, projects, and passion. Instead of looking at someone's flaws, trying to. That's why these are the tools I was talking about. If the only tool you have is tearing down others, judgmenting, or someone being a bad guy, like you cannot just create from values because you don't have those tools. From vision, you can only build from criticizing others. Like that's not a tool to keep. That's not something you should be proud of. So you can go with purpose, visions, projects, and passions for the future. You're not talking about yesterday, the good old days, and Tom in the corner, Jessica, Julia, all that good mumbo jumbo. And hold up, let's see. And I'll leave it. I'll leave this for those who are looking to grow. Ask better questions. It is far much more important to learn to ask better questions than just flapping your lips and mouth. The deeper your questions, the deeper your growth. It's very important that you realize and look into that. Instead of working with limiting beliefs and assumptions, ask questions. Ask yourself questions as well. And the answers don't have to come the same day. What are you building? How do you stay aligned? Listen deeply. Real connections are built on when people feel seen and safe. If people don't feel safe around you because you're dodgy, it's going to be very hard to connect real connections. Give before you get. This is something I've never seen in Zambia. I don't see. People are always asking. Give something of value, your time, your wisdom, something. Be helpful. Don't always just be asking. It is so off-putting, and I cannot stand it, man. Man, people are always walking around asking. Be generous with insight. Share tools, perspective, and experiences that helped you evolve, like I'm doing right now. Stay grounded. Don't overextend. Support without self-abandonment. This is something that you have to be careful of toxic connections where you're sacrificing yourself, your values, and yourself abandoning to make other people comfortable. You have to, this is a slippery slope. You have to look out for that. Be consistent and reciprocal. Follow up. True bonds are built through consistent engagement. That is one of my weaknesses. And this is one thing that I know even as I grow, I would just need a team to help me with that. PA or something, personal assistant. Celebrate other people's wins. Very important that you look at other people's wins, what they're doing right, and your own as well. Hold each other accountable. A healthy visions, tired. Healthy vision connections sharpen both people. Iron sharpens iron. The last one. Yay, I made it. Okay, this has been a powerful masterclass, and I really, really, really hope you enjoy. And there's a lot, and this is such deep work. So please, I will share inner works for this, and it might seem small, but trust me, it really helps with your neural pathways. So the last one is set boundaries and around misalignment. I am able to sense this all the time. Someone recognizes energetic mismatches early. If someone isn't growth oriented or drains your vision, bless and release. Release with love. Don't shrink to fit. Always hold your vibration and frequency. So there are people who I would like to hang out with, do stuff with, but I see that they're holding a certain frequency and it would be at my expense if I'm with them. Value your time. High quality visionaries protect their space and energy. It's vital. It is vital that you do it. That's it. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my God, you guys were powerhouses. Thank you so much. Please do share, like, subscribe. I would really appreciate, and I hope this masterclass has been very insightful, very powerful, and life-changing, paradigm-shifting. This is very, very powerful. And if you need to rewatch it, get a pen, get a paper, pencil, whatever. Pencil might erase itself, but take notes. What do you resonate with? Put it in the comments below. Ask questions if you will. And I will be sharing links to the actual inner work courses that I have. And you can take them from anywhere in the world. Nobody gotta know. You're on time. If I'm closing my eyes, it's late. Bonus. Okay, here's an affirmation. But before we do it, we'll do it the right way. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths just to relax our nervous system, and our nervous system meaning our body and physiology, and then we'll take in this affirmation. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Alright, now we're going to say the affirmation. I attract meaningful, aligned connections that support and amplify my vision. I attract meaningful, aligned connections that support and amplify my vision. I grow, evolve, and rise. I attract meaningful aligned connections that support and amplify my vision. I grow, I evolve, and I rise. Alright, thank you so much for watching. This is Pauline Coney. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share, give your comments. What resonated with you? Did you have any aha moments? Let me know so that I can share more content like this and more master classes. And then the inner work is going to be separate. But thank you so much for watching. We powered through. I told myself I would do this with or without makeup. Just get it done and get it out there. So thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.